Yeah, I have.
Can you tell us a little bit about you're using it in your course?
Yeah, and actually, it's I'm likely not using it to its full extent, or as well as it could be. So I'm mainly using it right now to record lectures for my online class. But if I teach the same class in person next semester, I'll likely use it to record some lectures for that too. I'd use VoiceThread, which is okay, and I like the commenting option on VoiceThread, but I think it's sometimes confusing sort of how you actually record the speaking part, in relation to the slides. And the Screencast-O-Matic is a little bit smoother for that, I guess. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So the version that I've been using, and I may not have logged in properly, it only gives you 15-minute chunks, which actually is probably good. I actually had some students say, oh, it's nice that the lecture is broken up into small pieces, which I think is probably good anyways. I think a lot of students sort of, get bored if you record too long of a video. So I have had to sort of like think about how to split up my, like a longer lecture into smaller pieces. And it sometimes will like cut me off if I, go a little bit too far and I have to sort of start over or in the next video. But that's what I've been doing. Does the new purchase of the license give us longer video times or anything like that?
Yeah. So you brought up two very important points. Number one, yes, with the new Pro account, you do have unlimited recording, so there's no hard stop. Like the free account, which would, it would stop at 15 minutes without warning. And that was one of the, I agree, that was one of the real benefits to having a hard stop at 15 was because we wanted faculty to chunk their videos into small, digestible, bite-sized videos, as opposed to having a 1 hour, 2 hour long lecture video. And the second thing, Evie, that you mentioned, which is really important, is to differentiate between what Screencast-O-Matic can do for you and opposed to VoiceThread, and the differences between those similar tools, and which tool would I go for if I wanted to do just a lecture video, right? Or which tool would I use if I wanted to do a discussion, a video or audio discussion. And so that's a very important differentiation we got to make between those two tools. If you're looking to create a demo video or just a short video introduction to your course, I would advise you to go with Screencast-O-Matic. But if you're looking for something like, if you're looking to do a discussions where students actually get to record their audio and their video, and you want to hear their voices, which works great for online teaching, to humanize that course and to make that connection to the students, that kind of humanize the experience between teacher and student as if it were in a face-to-face classroom, then VoiceThread is the right tool in that scenario. So that's a very important point that Evie makes. So
I guess you brought up, I have made a few like demo videos on like how to find certain things on Blackboard, or how to like, I think I've even made a demo of how to do a VoiceThread using Screencast, if that makes sense. So yeah, you remind me that I have done a few sort of how-tos. I'm not sure sort of how many of them they need because it's the first time I'm doing this class online. But I know it can be a little bit confusing to navigate all these tools that everybody is having to learn. So I tried to do a few of these sort of, like demo type things.
Right. Yeah, and you're right. It can get confusing because a lot of these tools overlap each other. And and so when I do one-on-one sessions with faculty, I try to figure out what is that vision, what is it that they're trying to do, where is it that they're trying to get to, and so right away, as I'm listening and I'm okay, this is going to be a discussion, or is it just a video, is it a talking head video, and so I kind of like try to figure out what is it that they're trying to do, and then I can say, okay, well, to do this, then you can use this tool. So it's really important to try to figure out, like right, Evie, like where you were just saying that, hey, I wanted to give a tour of my course. A simple video like that can just be done in Screencast-O-Matic. So, so if before I start, I want to show everyone how to actually create these videos and how easy it is. But before that, I just want to say a couple of things. We did do a pilot of Screencast-O-Matic with faculty, and we chose to buy it because, again, you all are the end users, so we really listened to the faculty, and what we heard back was that this tool is just simple and easy to use, and so we stuck with Screencast-O-Matic because of that reason. We got strong feedback from faculty, and it's integrated within our Blackboard system, which means that any video that you record is safe from the outside world, out of FIT. Is not going to be searchable anywhere on YouTube or anywhere in there. Oh, and Evie's making a comment here. Let me just read that. It's also nice to have to upload things. Oh, yeah, so that's a great point, Evie. And we're going to cover that in a second, where Screencast-O-Matic also gives you different avenues and pathways, right? You can go through YouTube, Vimeo, Google Drive, whatever it is that the end destination of that video. Screencast-O-Matic can provide an avenue for you that way, and we're going to cover that. Evie, do you want to? Is anything you want to cover? Anything other than before I show?
I feel like I'm taking over. Has anyone else used it? That's in the workshop. Has anyone else used this for their classes?
I have not yet.
Delphine, you haven't used it? It'll be perfect for your class, right? You teach a language, right? Is it language?
No, I teach cosmetics marketing.
Oh, okay.
They need smell-o-vision for your class, Delphine.
We haven't got there yet, right? With the virtual reality and the senses.
I think I mainly wanted to hear about sort of what the new features were, so I could make sure that I was sort of using it properly, because I think I sort of tried to learn it quickly to sort of get things rolling with the class, but I feel like I'm probably missing some features or whatever, and especially if, like you said, like if there's a new license, it'd be good to see sort of what sort of is the best way to use it, or what tools or options or whatever are available now.
Sure. I think, Mark, you had a question before I start.
Well, what I've been using on my Mac is I've been using the Screengrab video component, where instead of doing a screenshot, I can actually videotape myself. I teach Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, so I'll do short teaching videos, and I'll do the commentary over it, and I record myself in terms of doing the actual exercise, and then post that as a video on Blackboard.
Oh, Mark, your students are going to love you, because exactly that subject matter, teaching, let's say, Photoshop, Illustrator, those kind of things, as you're doing a screen capture, what students love is that the ability to rewind, pause, slow down, speed up, and I mean, that is crucial for the subject matter that you're teaching, and allows them to, on their own time, to review the material, and just similar to lynda.com or any of those online courses where they can just watch the video at their own pace. Okay, so let's start. By the way, I'm recording, and I will follow up with a summary email, including the link to the recording and other links, resources that I will include. I am still working on creating the manual with screenshots and the step-by-step instructions of using Screencast-O-Matic. So it's almost there. So I would try to speed. I'm going to try to speed up that process and get it out as soon as possible for you all. So perfect. Thank you, Mark. Let me share my screen. And also, by the way, if you do need an account with Screencast-O-Matic, just shoot me an email at Jose_Diaz, the number 1, at fitnyc.edu. There is another Jose Diaz, so I got the number 1 after my last name. And I will gladly create a pro account for you. And if you're not sure, if you're not sure whether you have a pro account or not, you can email me and I can check for you just to make sure that you have your license. Any questions about getting a license? No? Okay, perfect. And again, remember, this is a great tool, and you can use it for your professional life or any other school. We pay for it, but you can use it any way you like, and it's so feel free to use it in any way that you want to use it. I'm not telling you that you should only use it at FIT. All right, so let me walk you through my workflow. And so I'm going to go into my Blackboard course, and I'll start from the top. All right, so I just logged into Blackboard, and like most of you, you all have your own courses on the right-hand side. I have my sandbox, which I like to go when I want to break things or test things out. So this is my sandbox, and we'll pretend this is your course. Okay, so Screencast-O-Matic is already integrated into our Blackboard system. And so to access Screencast-O-Matic, you can easily go to Build Content, and you scroll down. You'll see it from the menu option all the way down at the bottom. You'll see Screencast-O-Matic. Right? So you want to go ahead and click on that. And so we want to give this a name. And so let's call this lecture video number 1 for now. And like everything else on Blackboard, you can add a description, you can attach documents, you can schedule a release or when it goes away. But I'm going to leave that for now. I'm just going to go ahead and click Submit. And like everything else on Blackboard, it drops it at the bottom. But I want to move this up to the top just for the ease of finding it, and I don't have to scroll down to the bottom. Notice that we have an empty link here. It doesn't go anywhere because we haven't yet linked it to our video. The second thing I want you to notice is this icon here. It looks similar to the target icon, but it's in blue. It's like a Columbia blue. And so from here, I just need to click on the lecture video title. And so I go ahead and click on this. So now, once I've clicked on this, it takes me now to my library of videos within the Screencast-O-Matic system, or the Screencast-O-Matic library, or the cloud, whatever you want to call it. And so right away it tells me choose Embed, right? So I can easily go through my list of videos that I have pre-recorded. The video and click on it, it automatically links to the video, and I'm pretty much done. If I were just to stop there, I can just click on the video, and that video now is embedded into my course. But what I'm going to do from here is I want to do a new video. I don't want to use a previously recorded video. Oh, I hear a question.
You can do it later, Jose. I just wanted to write it before I forget.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Evie. Here you can also I forgot to mention, you can filter, search, or you can do filter by most recent, title, duration, view count, visibility, or creator. So that's if you were to look for your videos. But like I said, I want to make my own video. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little camera icon at the top. And with this, if you hover over it, it says Launch Recorder. So if you have Screencast-O-Matic already installed on your computer, it's going to open Screencast-O-Matic when I click on this icon. If you click on this icon and you don't have Screencast-O-Matic installed on your computer, it's going to let you know, it's going to give you the link as to where you can go and download Screencast-O-Matic on your computer. So remember, Screencast-O-Matic is an application that lives on your computer, like PowerPoint, Photoshop, Illustrator. It's another form of an application, right? So if you don't have Screencast-O-Matic installed, help with that, shoot me an email. I will happily help you. I would gladly help you install Screencast-O-Matic on your computer, and also I will help you get your account provisioned with our FIT Pro license. Any questions about downloading Screencast-O-Matic or provisioning your account with our FIT Pro account? No questions? Okay, good. Oh, I think I. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mark. I want to make sure before I move forward that we got everybody on board. So I will be asking along the way if anybody is stuck with any or has any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and click Launch Recorder, and you'll notice Screencast-O-Matic automatically is popping up on my screen here, and it says it will appear in a second. Okay, beautiful. Now, if you have used Screencast-O-Matic before, you will find this menu or the control panel familiar. Very, very friendly user interface. Now, before I used Screencast-O-Matic, I was a big QuickTime user. You know, it's like a love and hate relationship with QuickTime. If you're a Mac user, you most likely are familiar with QuickTime. You know, and Mac recently updated QuickTime, but it still falls short. I was really upset when I saw that QuickTime still doesn't work the way I wanted it to work. And so I gave up on QuickTime. And on the PC side, I used to use, Snagit, or no, Snagit was a screen capture. But I couldn't find a great solution for me to easily record videos. And then I found Screencast-O-Matic. And I was like, this is like an easy to use tool. So right off the bat, you can see that there's a record button right here, and to the left of the record button there's a little handle. It's 4 little stripes, vertical stripes going up and down. This is the handle, so you can easily left click on the handle and move this menu anywhere on the screen, right? So as you're recording the screen, you want to make sure that you place this menu, the Screencast-O-Matic menu, into a corner that doesn't block or doesn't disrupt your view of your slides or whatever it is that you're recording, whether it's Illustrator or Photoshop. Now, the next option, the next thing that you see right away when you open up Screencast-O-Matic is the 3 options at the top. You can record the screen, which is a screen capture video. You can record a talking head video, and that's basically you speaking to your students from the top of the head to around your shoulder. That's what we call it, a talking head video. And you can also do both. You can do what's called a picture-in-picture. And even the picture-in-picture can be moved around, right? I can move it any corner that I like. So the students can see me, but they can also see what's being recorded on the screen. Let me open up a PowerPoint in the background, so I'll have it ready because PowerPoint takes a while to open. Oh, here we go. So let me open PowerPoint. And so I'll use this as an example, right? So I have PowerPoint open. So in this case, I'm going to do both. Record the screen, and I will have also a talking head video in the corner. Now, this is what Evie mentioned earlier, max time. And if you do have the free account, this is how you can tell if you have the free account or not, is that the free account max out at 15 minutes. But if you have the FIT Pro account, there is no max time. But if you're looking to do short, concise videos and you want to really test yourself to be concise and quick and chunk your videos, you can set a max time here and set a limit you can go here and click on whatever that limit is that you wanted to make. And that will really challenge you to keep your videos nice and short. Right? If you follow YouTube bloggers, you'll notice that usually YouTube bloggers keep their videos nice and short, right, for the attention span. In this case, I'll just leave it to no max for now. The next option here is size. And so this really controls what do you want to record on the screen, right? If I have it at full screen, Screencast-O-Matic will record everything on my screen. If I switch it to 720p, notice that I have now a zebra rectangle here. And anything inside that zebra box will get recorded. Anything outside of the zebra box will not get recorded. If you're looking to customize the recording, you can grab one of the corners and you can drag to a smaller box or a different shape. If you want to, like a TikTok video might be more vertical, right? So if you're looking to only record a portion of your screen, you can always change the resolution that way. For now, I'm going to keep it at full screen. The next option is the narration. And this is always good to test before you start recording, because as you can see the meter, it's going up and down. So it's picking up my audio. I can tell right away the decibels are moving up and down. And if you do have a dedicated microphone, like a Yeti or the Snowball mic, you can click here and then switch to that dedicated microphone. All right, so if you're doing, like, if you're used to podcasts, that kind of sort of thing, you might have a dedicated microphone that's one of those fancy mics, like a Yeti or a Snowball, and you can change the microphone that way. I think I heard a question. Will that customized size option play back at the same scale? Great question, Christopher. Yes. So keep that in mind, that the scale will matter. The resolution that you're recording will if you do upload that video to YouTube, that scale that you just uploaded will make a difference when the student plays back the video. So I would do a test first, upload the video based on that resolution that you decided to use, and take a look at it from an audience perspective, just to make sure that the video looks okay. Okay, it's a great question. If you are recording computer audio, for example, if you are recording a video that's being played, then you can click on this feature and select pick up the sound from the computer, so that the computer will record the movie or the audio that's coming within the computer. Okay? That's a nice way to illegally rip movies. I'm not promoting any illegal activities here, but EB. So yes, so basically these are the main settings. They're nice and sweet. There's not too much here to overwhelm you. And once you've set these settings, they won't change, and you can always fall back to the same settings. Okay. I think there was one more question. Oh, yes. You want to watch HBO?
Yeah, there's just a little documentary that I wanted them to be able to watch, but I couldn't figure out how to do it with the free version. So actually, this might be really useful, because it's not like just a few clips from a video, but I don't want them to have to find it, on a paid service or whatever. So
there you go. You didn't hear it from me, Evie.
Well, I would use it in class, I mean, same as that, right?
I'm joking. So yeah, that's a solution for you, right? If you're looking to, there's a movie out there and you want to capture it, and you have it on your streaming service, and you want to record the screen and get the audio, that would be a workaround to that solution. This is a very important button here, the X button. Do not be afraid of the X. It will not close Screencast-O-Matic. It basically takes away the control panel. If you want to bring back the control panel back up, click on the gear icon, and it comes back up. So do not be afraid of the X. It will not close Screencast-O-Matic. It will just hide the menu. And especially if you're recording the screen and this is in your way, you might just want to close it. And what's beautiful about Screencast-O-Matic is that it always stays here, so it doesn't never leave you. And so that's what I love about it, where QuickTime would leave me. I couldn't figure out how to stop the recording in QuickTime. And that would frustrate me every time I record in QuickTime. Okay, so let's do one quick recording so I can show you the workflow of my workflow on Screencast-O-Matic. All right, so here is my PowerPoint, and I'm just going to use PowerPoint for this example, but you can use anything. You can use Premiere, Illustrator, any application that you want to record on your screen. It could be on Blackboard, and you're giving your students a tour of your Blackboard course. This could be easily that. It could be whatever it is you want to record from your screen. All right, so I'm going to go, oh, by the way, here's a cool trick. For those of you who are teaching students who are in China or in Italy, and you have students who speak another language and they're not very fluent English speakers, do burn-in captions and have it translate at a different language. That's another nice tip. If you ever want that. In PowerPoint, you can just click here. You always use subtitles, subtitle settings, spoken language, English, subtitle. I can translate in real time to, let's do Spanish because I can speak Spanish, so I can test, make sure that it's really translating in Spanish. All right, so I got my captions ready here. And let's start playing my slideshow from the beginning. As you can see, the captions will be captioned in real time in Spanish. So if you are looking for captions in a different language that might help your students, if you're teaching in China or you're teaching students from Italy or any other country, right now my live captions are being translated to Spanish. Right? If I wanted to keep it to English, just come back up here and switch it to English. So that's a nice tip if you have students who are struggling to understand what you are saying and you want to accommodate those students. PowerPoint is really, 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 really much better than Google Docs in accessibility. Right?
Is there, so in terms of like the ADA accommodation we're supposed to do for all the Blackboard content, is there a way to do subtitles on Screencast-O-Matic after you recorded it, so it is sort of within the guidelines, or should we be doing what you're showing us now?
Yeah, that's a great question, Evie. So this will benefit if you're not, if you're teaching synchronously and you want, students in real time to look at the captions. I can see this working better for synchronous teaching. But if you're looking at it from an asynchronous point of view, where students are going to watch these pre-recorded videos, then Screencast-O-Matic captions the videos for you, and you don't have to do this. Let me turn off the captions.
Okay, that's good to know. Thanks.
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that, because that's what I'm going to cover next, right? So if I go back here now, I turned off the captions. So right there we go. They're not here anymore. Okay, perfect. So now I'm ready to start recording. I'm in a quiet room. The kids are not home. There's no, I'm in a quiet room, a safe place where I'm not gonna have horrible noise in the background that's gonna interrupt my recording. Make sure that you can find a place like that, which I know is hard in New York City to do that. But anyway, so here we go. So first I want to accommodate the menu. I might want to put it over here so it doesn't cover my PowerPoint buttons over here. So I just moved a little bit to the right. So you can feel free to move it through the handle anywhere you want, just like that. Okay. Next thing is I want to click record. I get a timer. And now I'm recording, right? So welcome to PowerPoint for Mac, 5 tips for a simpler way to work, right? Let me do some annotation here. Notice that if you go to the command ribbon at the top of what is this, Microsoft PowerPoint, whatever, Microsoft Word, you can make sure you select Customize Quick Access toolbar. If you want, you can also use the laser pointer that Microsoft provides. There you go. If I want to switch it back to the pen tool, I can do that. Annotate as I'm presenting, and I'll stop there. Okay, so that was a quick recording. Now, Screencast-O-Matic never left me, right? So it's always there to assist, so it doesn't disappear. Now I can play back my recording by clicking on playhead, and now I'm recording, right? So welcome to PowerPoint for Mac, 5 tips for a simpler way to work, right? Let me do some annotation here. Notice that if you go to the command ribbon at the top of, what is this, Microsoft PowerPoint, whatever. I'm mumbling, I hate it. But so basically you see how I was able to use, in conjunction to using Screencast-O-Matic, I used it along with PowerPoint, right? So I'm using 2 tools at the same time. I'm using Screencast-O-Matic to record my screen. I'm using PowerPoint to display my slides, but also to annotate on my slides at the same time. A nice picture-in-picture at the bottom corner. Oh, I should have shown you that you can move it around as you're actually presenting. If it, like right here, my picture-in-picture was blocking this part of the screen. You can just drag the picture-in-picture to the top corner so it doesn't block what it is that you're recording. Anyway, this video is done. So after I'm done with this, and let's say I'm happy with this. Oh, by the way, if you forgot to say something, you can always go to the point in the video that you forgot to say something. And if you click record, Screencast-O-Matic will continue recording at that timestamp. Does that make sense, everyone?
Record over what comes after that?
Correct.
Okay.
It will replace, so at the 28 second mark, if I start recording there, it will record over from that point. So you don't have to start all over from the beginning.
Okay, great.
So that helps, because the next thing I'm going to show you is with the Pro, with the Premiere, I'm thinking Premiere, with Screencast-O-Matic Pro, now we have the ability to edit our video. So if you want to minimize post-production on your video, you can actually do some live editing by going to that point where you screwed up and just re-record from that point on. So let me show you real quick on how to edit. So I'm going to go ahead and click done. If I wanted to trash it, I'll just click the trash can and start over again. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click done. And I want to quickly show you what you can do in Screencast-O-Matic with the editing feature. Okay, so I clicked on edit. And so now, and by the way, I look funny because I do have the green screen feature mode on. And that's why my skin looks. So Screencast-O-Matic also has green screen. If you do want to have a green screen effect, you can also use Screencast-O-Matic for keying. And that's a little bit more advanced. I'm not going to cover keying in this workshop. Okay, so let's say I find a spot where I kind of screwed up, and I think it was around here. Well, I screwed up in many places, but just to find a spot where I can fix. Like right here, I can see there was a problem there. Right. Let me do some annotation. See, I kind of stumbled on my words there. So I'm going to go ahead and start from that point. I'm going to click on Tools, click on Cut. And this also works if you're trying to get rid of the ums and the ahs or any mistake that you made during the video. And then you just drag from left to right. I'm dragging what I want to remove. And as you're dragging, as you're scrubbing through, you can preview what you are seeing or what will be deleted when you click OK. Everybody got that? Okay. If you want to preview before deleting that, before splicing, you can actually preview the video and how it will sound when you remove this part. So let's see how it will sound if I remove that part. Simpler way to work. Let me just. So there it was. I removed that little mumble part that I did, and it was more of a seamless transition. So if I click OK, it will splice the video together, and now it's a little bit cleaner. Okay, very easy to use. There's other features in here like overlay. You can record a demonstration video and narrate, do the voiceover after if you like to do it that way. This will allow you to just record audio over your video. You can add music if you want to make your videos like YouTube. If you want to add transitions, play around with the volume. There's a lot here to play with. All right, I'm not gonna stay too long here because I do want to answer questions at the end. Now, the next step that I like to do is over here. You'll notice you can there's some other changes. You can add music here if you want to add a song. They provide you with stock music. If you want to add your own music, you can also upload your own music. But they have a good selection of music if you want to add a nice background to your video. If you don't like the yellow cursor and you want it to go away, you can just uncheck the cursor, and there it goes. It's no longer there. If I change my mind and I don't like how my webcam look, if I was blocking material on the screen, I can take off the webcam. If I change my mind, and there it goes, it's gone. So a simple click just removed my picture-in-picture. Very, very, very important is captions. The school is becoming much stricter with captioning. As you've seen, there's been emails sent out. I mean, there's many schools are being sued, and so FIT does not want to get sued for not being ADA compliant. Screencast-O-Matic will do the captions for you, similar to YouTube, but I think the captions look better in Screencast-O-Matic only because it's easier to edit in Screencast-O-Matic than it is on YouTube. So if you click on captions, all you have to do is click speech to text and hit start. And the captions are done for you automatically. Just give it a few seconds. And that's it, they're done. And so all your captions are there for you. If you see there's a mistake, which I can't even find a mistake right now, it's pretty accurate. Punctuation, look at that, the periods are there. I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, but if there's something wrong in here, I can say, for example, oh, I forgot a period. You can just click on the actual text and edit by just typing in. And that's as easy as that to fix your captions. So super easy to use, much, much easier to use than YouTube. YouTube could be a pain. Navigating through YouTube Studio is a pain. All right, so once we're done here and I'm happy with my captions, I just click OK. And I'm pretty much done with everything here. I'm not going to change anything else. Oh, by the way, you can also take off your narration if you don't like the way you sound. And then you can then re-record your narration using the narrate tool, which is really cool. I like that feature. Okay, any questions before I move on from this page? No? All right, sounds good. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and click done. Now, this is where Evie was talking about, where we have different avenues to where do you want the video to live, or where will the video be hosted. You can download the video as a video file to your computer. You can upload to Screencast-O-Matic, which is what I'm going to do in this scenario. You can also choose to upload your video to YouTube. And up here in the hamburger icon, there are more options. You can also send your videos to Vimeo. You can send your videos to Google Drive. And you can send your videos to Dropbox. If you can choose any of these options, they all work. The only thing you have to do is you're going to have to give permission for Screencast-O-Matic to access, for example, your YouTube account. So it's going to ask you to log in your credentials so that there's a handshake between Screencast-O-Matic and your YouTube channel. Okay, but in this case, I'm just going to stick with Screencast-O-Matic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click Screencast-O-Matic because I think it's the easiest workflow. Okay, So now I have to create a title. Let's call this, I think we called it lecture 1 video. Lecture video 1, I think it was. I don't remember. All right, so there's my title for the video. That's going to be on my Blackboard course. And again, do I want to keep the highlighted cursor? You can change it again if you don't like it. No cursor or highlight cursor. There it is. Use this to your advantage because you're drawing your students' attention to a certain part on your slide, and it could be valuable so that they can know what it is you're talking about as you are narrating over your slides. Quality, I usually keep it to normal. I haven't changed it. I haven't seen a difference. Captions are in English. Visibility, I highly suggest to keeping it to unlisted. Now remember, if you go with Screencast-O-Matic, it's uploading those videos to our server at Screencast-O-Matic. But if you have it set to public, it will be visible to all FIT faculty. So if you want to keep it to yourself and to your class, I recommend choosing unlisted. If you want to keep it to yourself, I would go with maybe password protected. If you're working as a team, and Screencast-O-Matic allows you to do groups and teams, and you want to share amongst your team, you can do it that way. But for now, I'm keeping it to unlisted. Okay, any questions before I move out of this screen?
Jose, I'm not sure if this is an option on this screen, but when I've made videos, I'm not sure if this is happening every time making one, but it seems to always also make a copy to my hard drive, and I can't figure out how to get it to stop doing that.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point because it is making.
So it's like maxing out my hard drive every week.
Yeah. And so that's a great point because once you've uploaded the video to Screencast-O-Matic or YouTube or wherever it is that you're sending it to, you really don't need that file on your computer, right? So that file is going, Screencast-O-Matic creates a folder, excuse me, it creates a folder on your drive where it keeps the original recording as a backup. But if you feel safe, that video is on the cloud or wherever it is on Google Drive or YouTube or Screencast-O-Matic, and you're running low on space on your computer, you can just go ahead and delete the file from your drive. And if you don't want it to save it on your drive initially, I don't think there's an option, Evie, on that.
Okay,
but I can
that's
check.
fine.
I can check for you, but it's always good to have an archive and then delete it later on because sometimes funny things might happen as the video is being uploaded. Something might crash. Right?
Yeah, usually I like saving things, backup, but working from home with just like my laptop, it has like limited, space. So,
right.
Trying to figure out, to cut out redundancies and things like that.
Right. That's a great point. Right. And video files are big. Videos do take up a lot of space depending on how long the video is, but video files can take up a ton of space. So yes, that's a good point. So keep that in mind. If you're running out of space on your computer because of your videos and you feel safe that these videos are already archived in wherever it is that you're sending them to, feel free to delete them, but be careful, right? You want to make sure that you make sure first that those videos have been archived already. All right. So thank you, Evie. That's a great point. So I'm happy here with my settings. So I'm going to go ahead and click Publish, right? So I'm going to go ahead and publish. And I really don't have to stay around for this point. If you're using Blackboard, you can leave at this point because you don't need Blackboard. You don't need Blackboard because the video is already being sent to Blackboard. But if you're using, if you're not using Blackboard and you're somehow sending emails, or I don't know, if you're not using Blackboard, then you would just probably copy the link because you have to get those videos to your students somewhere. I think there's a lot of people who are not using Blackboard, so I'm just mentioning that for those who are not using Blackboard. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And we're pretty much done on this side. But to Evie's point, this is how it looks this is from the application view on Screencast-O-Matic. These are all the videos that are lit on my computer right now, right? Use this with the video that I just uploaded. These are the videos that are living on my computer right now, right? So don't confuse this with videos that you are on the cloud. These are the videos that are actually on your computer. So let's go now to Blackboard, since I already have my videos uploaded. And let me exit PowerPoint. Yes, discard my annotations. I don't need them anymore. Okay, so we're back to where we started, right? Full circle. So remember, we created, let me just go back to the content area. Remember, we created a Screencast-O-Matic within our Blackboard course. We named it Lecture Video. And so now we uploaded our recording, and so now we just want to link it or embed it, right? And look at that, our video is right there waiting for us. So this is the video that I just recorded. And so all I have to do is just click on it. There it is. I can choose the resolution if I want to change that. I can customize the player for the students. If they want to have full control, you can click Show Controls. So they can see everything. They can rewind, fast forward. Caption button is right here. The volume button is right there. Speed up or slow down is right here. If I want to make it a full screen, it's right there. And once I'm done with that, I click Embed Video, and I'm done. My video now is... I'm recording, right? So welcome to PowerPoint for Mac, 5 tips for a simpler way to work. If I turn off the captions, this will go away. There we go. I hit play again. Do some annotation here. Notice that if you go to the command ribbon at the top of... right? If for whatever reason I selected the wrong video and I made a mistake, very easy. I can click Change Content, and I'm back to my library of videos, and I can switch the video at any moment, and there's no downtime, 0 downtime. So the students will never notice that there's a downtime on your videos because it still has the old video, and then I can just switch it and then select the video again, embed, and if I go back out, now I'm recording, right? So welcome, and this is how the student will see it. If I go to Student Preview, and I go to the content area, and the student clicks on the video, and now I'm recording, right? So welcome to PowerPoint for Mac, 5 tips for a simpler way to work. Let me... And you saw the jump cut right there? 5 tips for a simpler way to work. Let me do some annotation. That was my jump cut from the splice that I did. So, you know, jump cuts are no longer something that's bad. Back in the day when I used to do video editing, it was considered amateurish to have jump cuts. But if you go on YouTube now, everybody does jump cuts, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so that's basically my workflow that I use. I find it much easier to go through Screencast-O-Matic than going through YouTube. I don't find the YouTube Studio backend friendly. It is a little bit complicated, but if you're familiar with YouTube and you know how to use YouTube Studio, hey, go ahead and use YouTube Studio. Whatever works best for you, I always say. And I think that's the end of my presentation. If anybody has any questions.
So my question from earlier, Jose, was it might be more of a Blackboard question. But when I started uploading videos, I didn't see that there was the integrated embed like you showed. So I was just uploading like a link to each of the videos. And then sometimes now I've been doing the embed a little bit, but I'm trying to input content in one of my sections and then copy it to the other one, so I don't have to do all the work twice. But with the embedded, it doesn't seem to copy the actual links to the videos. Am I just copying things wrong, or?
Well, you bring up a great point, right? You bring up, so like for example, if you're moving from one semester, if you're teaching the same course in multiple sections, if you have the same video that you want to use for both sections, it's easy now because all your videos are centralized. So if that same video you want to use for 101 as well as 100, you just go to Screencast-O-Matic, pull up the video on both classes, and then the video will, the same video gets embedded automatically. You don't have to go and grab the link. It's a more tedious process to do it that way. But grabbing the link is like you were doing, Evie, is I guess a little bit more tedious because now you got to go find the link. Copy
Well, what actually was, and this could be me. I always have an issue with copying things in Blackboard. I never seem to do it quite right. But like if I just had like a web link to the screencast video, that copies over just fine. If I like go to the Blackboard settings and say copy the folder and copy it to this other section, that's fine. The link still works. But if I copy with the embedded sort of path like that you showed, it just gives a blank link that I have to fill in the content again.
Yep.
Do I have to do that all the time? Because that's a pain, and I'd rather not do that.
Well, even if you do the other way through copying the links, you still have to do a similar task, right? Because you still have to copy the link and paste it, right?
Well, not if I have it already set up in a Blackboard folder and just copy the whole folder. At least that's.
So we've been the same course. That's what you're asking? We've been.
No, I mean it's not like it in a whole course copy. I mean I've just sort of like I'll say work in like section 1, and then I'll just say copy this folder to section 2, and then section 2 has the same content as the first section. Does this make sense? Do you want me to? I can share my screen and show you what I mean. This might be a Blackboard question, and I can talk about it later.
Sure. Yeah. I would love to. Yeah, sit down. I'm a little bit more curious as to, because you can still copy a Screencast-O-Matic video and paste in that way, copy and move it that way. But you can also, I find it easier just to go build content, go Screencast-O-Matic, type in the, and just go to my library. Everyone has their own.
Let's talk about it later, Jose, because I feel like I'm probably not asking the question properly. Sure. I don't want to take up all the question time.
Sure. No, definitely. We can sit down.
But yeah, it might be just sort of, I know, a little detail that I'm missing or something.
Definitely. As the school now, as we're doing more and more videos, with teaching remotely, not only that, but also flipping the classroom, which is now becoming very popular. If you want to flip the classroom, creating videos ahead of time so students can watch the lecture and then free up time for more discussions and more about muddiest points. What did you find what was the most confusing thing for you after watching the lecture video? Oh, you're doing it, Evie. You want to tell us a little bit about how you're doing the flipped classroom?
I'm doing it when I can. I can really only do it when I have a class that I have taught, a bunch, and I already have the content made, so I sort of know what I need to record.
Right.
But I do like it because, especially maybe everyone else has a similar experience. Like, it's hard to get students to participate in like lectures when you're remote, and so if you just record the lecture, they can watch it on their own time, and then the class, like you said, can be for like activities or small group stuff or like review, which is a lot more efficient, and you feel less like you're just like talking to a blank screen, with the students. Maybe they're there, maybe they're not. So when I'm able to do it, I like it. I'm not able to do it all the time, especially if I'm like teaching, like some of my courses are sort of new, and so I don't know exactly what I need to do each week far enough in advance. But the classes that I'm sort of comfortable with, the weekly content, it's been nice when I can do it, because then I don't need to rush through the review or rush through the like activities or whatever.
Yeah. And again, if you have 3 hours, a 3-hour course, instead of spending those 3 hours straight of screen fatigue, again, this will be a nice way for you have students do things I call it on their own, or on their own on your own assignments, or things like that, where kind of then instead of doing a 3-hour long class, you can split it up to some of on your own assignments, on your own videos, watch the lecture, and then when they meet you in real time, like Evie is saying, you can then make it much more, breakout rooms, interactive discussions. It's really now focusing on where do you need to really you can do micro lessons as opposed to doing boom 3-hour long. So again, now not to say this works perfectly, you do have to be careful, because flipping the classroom can also fall flat if, for example, students don't show up to class prepared, right? So if the students don't watch those lecture videos, then it could really fall flat. But so this is where you really have to focus on, if you do, for example, a Padlet exercise that's on your own time, and the students are completing the Padlet that's based on the lecture that they're supposed to watch, and then if you bring that Padlet exercise and you bridge it from the asynchronous to the synchronous, that could be where you can make sure that students have accountability, right? So if you say to them, well, the first 10 minutes of the class, we're going to go over your on your own assignment. So now, nobody wants to look left out because they didn't do the work, the asynchronous work. So, but yeah, so these have been great questions. Thank you, Delphine, for coming by. So again, if anybody, please email me if you don't have a pro account. You can send me an email and I can sign you up and create an account for you. If you need help provisioning your account on Screencast-O-Matic, let me know. I feel like, I don't know, Evie, I don't know about you, but for me, that was the hardest part of using Screencast-O-Matic, was provisioning my account.
What does that mean? I feel like I did this I don't know if I did it correctly, because I don't really remember how I set up the account or anything.
Yeah, but provisioning by provisioning an account, I mean, if you started with the free account and you want to provision it so that it actually gives you all the pro features, and it actually recognizes that you are an FIT person and you fall under the FIT license, that the only thing I found a little bit hard to do, which was to provision, make sure that you're a valid pro user. But if you need help with that, I can always meet with you one-on-one.
Okay.
Make sure that you're provisioned. If you need help also with syncing it to your YouTube account or syncing it to any other one of those avenues that we spoke about, hey, or Evie, or reach out. Hey, Evie, if you want to talk to Evie, she's done it too. So if you want to reach out to Evie, so she's wonderful, and she, so between us or anybody else you want to reach out, we all, we can help in any way. If you need advice on how to use Screencast-O-Matic, just reach out to us. All right.
Jose, do you have a minute for me to show you what I mean with that Blackboard issue?
Yeah, sure. Let me stop the recording.
Yeah, I just didn't want to take over, but I think it's really